There's a term in Heather's news, sloppers. I saw them in the wild over the weekend. We'll get to it at 8:35.
Huh.
Tiger
where
baseball.
you were hanging out with sloppers.
Okay. They're all around us, John. You can't avoid them anymore. And this was maybe the grossest example. Anyway, Tiger baseball over the weekend. We got a chance to see a couple of the new faces. Finnegan on Saturday looked the part. That was the real Major League bullpen arm they added. Charlie Morton. Mm-hmm. Hey, 41 years old. Didn't need the walking cane to get out there. Struck out 6 in 6 innings. That'll play. But the team lost 2 of 3. Do you feel better or worse about the team post-deadline?
Well, I don't like that they got shut out yesterday 2-0, and runners in scoring position 5 times, couldn't find a way to get one of them across the plate, which would have meant they still would have lost 2-1. But I do like the fact that they addressed the pitching staff. We got Paddock in exchange for Olsen. Now Olsen didn't go anywhere, but he's out for the regular season. And you go out there and you get Charlie Morton, who performed extremely well yesterday against a very good lineup.
Yeah, it struck out the side in the 4th, 4, 5, and 6, rolled it over, struck out more to start the 5th. Yeah, I was surprised. That's the best start he's had in over a month.
Finnegan looked good when we saw him on Friday night. And I am curious how that affects Will Vest and even Tommy Kahnle, where you have another weapon to use and you don't have to use Will Vest every single time. Now, maybe one gets to the other, but, you got Melton that we are waiting to see in coming out of the bullpen as well. And I think you have, looking at these guys, looking at this staff, and if they put Morton in the bullpen when you get to the postseason, along with Melton, who's going to have some bumps, right? He's a young player, but he throws some nice heat. Mm-hmm. Getting to Vest, getting to Morton, getting to Finnegan, all of a sudden looks a little bit better.
So did you feel better then?
I felt better, yeah.
Okay. You're typically not
still
the silver
lose
linings
2 out of
guy.
3,
Yeah, they lost the games, but the players they added, you feel better having seen them pitch for the Detroit Tigers.
The question now is going to be how do they create runs? How do they manufacture runs?
Well,
how do they get guys across home plate, which is the goal. You got to outscore your opponents.
But that is also a way of looking at the trade deadline. They didn't add a bat, and then they were shut out when they faced high-end pitching, which is what they'd face in the ALCS or the World Series, really the entire postseason. So I ended up feeling worse. The team that made the bold, aggressive moves, their reliever, their closer shuts the door in 2 of the 3. You lose 2 of the 3. Friday night, you didn't even get to Finnegan because the bullpen still isn't good enough. And then on Sunday, you get shut out. You're leading off Matt Vierling. They didn't need a bat. I felt worse. I felt like, the team's still going to win their division. I think August is going to be chock full of wins for this baseball team, and they'll be a postseason team. But when they get to the postseason, I think you saw the thing that's going to get them eliminated.
It's one of the reasons why they could be eliminated, sure. And I think if you look at any roster, even if you're looking at the Dodgers, there's no perfect roster. There's some that are closer than others, and the Dodgers are really close. Mm-hmm. But each roster is going to have reasons why they could get eliminated. Now, if you get into the postseason and the bats go silent, then sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, could you have done more at the trade deadline when you look back? Yeah. They didn't add a bat.
So you guys let us know. Actually, we're going to make this a poll question so we can use it as an easy cheat throughout the rest of the show here, whether you feel better or worse.
Okay.
Are you disappointed?
No,
we made it a poll
I
question?
think that's great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see what the people think.
Greg, you can delete it if it's a bad idea, I guess.
Oh, no.
Is it even right now, you said?
No, I was going to say, or the same is also an option.
Oh, yeah, but that's the easy way out. You got to say better or worse. I feel the same is kind of a cop-out,
yeah,
right?
I mean, you never stay the same. You're either better or you're worse.
Right. You get through a trade deadline, and you're either better or worse. Now, look, I know people are going to point out the Yankees didn't exactly get off to a hot start Friday night with their arms either.
No.
John, it was one after the other batting practice.
Yeah, but their big issue is, and the relievers that they signed are going to be just fine, but the issue that they're facing is just being productive in the field. Because if you look just on Friday night, small sample size, did we want Jake Bird?
Hey, he was the guy we talked about, yeah.
David Bednar.
Definitely talked about him.
And Camilo Duvall.
Yeah, after the deadline, we thought, boy, that's all it took to get him.
Okay, so on Friday night, those 3 relievers, entered the game for the mighty New York Yankees.
In stripes.
And they gave up a combined 9 runs.
Is that all?
4 earned by Jake Bird, 2 earned by David Bednar, and 3 runs, only one of them earned, by Camilo Duvall.
Yeah.
And they ended up losing 13-12. And they got swept by the Marlins for the first time in the history of their series.
Are you serious? That's the first time the Marlins have ever swept the Yankees?
The first time the Marlins have swept the Yankees. Yes. Stat of the day.
So some of this is like there's pressure in New York, and we'll see. Look, the Tigers aren't going to be judged by this weekend, and those Yankee relievers aren't going to be judged by Friday night. They're going to be judged by the postseason, and they got guys with better track records.
If they make the postseason.
That's a good point. They're on the line.
The Tigers are going to be in the postseason.
But they're going to be relying more on, like, hey, can they get lightning in a bottle? Can they, find those pitchers with flaws? Can they get them in a groove at the right time to steal something? Because they don't have enough proven commodities in their bullpen right now. So they are relying on threading a needle when they get to the postseason.
They are trying to thread a needle. There are a bunch of teams that are trying to thread the needle.
No, I know it gets misconstrued. I'm going to root like hell that they thread the needle. I mean, I want to see them do something historic. I loved seeing Charlie Morton go out there at 41 years old and turn back time. Do I expect that throughout the rest of the season and in the postseason? No, I think that'd be unfair to expect. Right? Like, I mean, that was the best start he's had in a month.
Yes.
And I think some of that's the adrenaline, new team.
Sure, new team. Want to go out there and show and prove, but he's also on a much better team than he was on. And he knows that his clock is ticking. It literally is ticking in regards to being able to win a World Series. So he's going to go out there and give you his A game every single time.
Got a ticket texture that says Kenny Rogers vibes.
Okay.
Look, that's what you're hoping for. Texter says, I'm feeling okay after the deadline. They looked alive last night against the Phillies. Haven't seen that kind of energy since before the All-Star break. Let's go. Nick at work.
It was a great series. Now, they ended up losing the series 2-1.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this question. I'll just put it in a little bit different way.
Mm-hmm.
In a 7-game series, can they beat the Philadelphia Phillies in a 7-game series?
You in this can word. Yes, they can. If they played a 7-game series, would you expect them to? I would not.
Would you expect any team that comes out of the American League to beat a team that comes out of the National League in the World Series?
Probably not. Probably not. I mean, if it's the Dodgers and the Phillies, no, I think those teams would be favored over everybody in the
Mets?
AL. Now if it's Mets would be interesting. If the Cubs won, I think some like the Tigers could be favored against the Cubs. Look, I know the thing is get in the dance, see what happens, but other teams put themselves in a better position to dance longer, including the Phillies.
Yeah.
Tex says, I was a little down after the deadline, but the Tigers played a competitive series against Philly. I felt like it was the playoffs. Crowd was electric. Morton and Finnegan had great first appearances. Mm-hmm. John, I'm going to write him down as feeling better.
Yeah.
First half of the year was optimism and excitement. Second half and post-deadline, anxiety and disappointment, Matt and Heartland. Is that just because the expectations start to hit?
Well, yeah, I mean, you change your expectations throughout the course of the season. We did it with the Lions last year. We've done it with all the teams. When you start performing a certain way, good or bad, you're able to reassess the expectations. And the expectation going into the season was, hey, can we just win this division, or can we be a wild card team? Can we stay above 500? Well, when you're 20 games above 500, you tend to change your expectations.
I thought this well before the deadline, and I still think it now. I don't think this team will win a playoff series, whether it's 3 games in the wild card, 5 in the ALDS, or more. I think this team is going to be one and done, and everyone will be disappointed.
That's just a little hangover from the Lions season? Because right now, they're not even playing in the wild card.
Right. They would avoid the round altogether.
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody... Like, this team's better than last year's team, right?
Yes.
So they can win certainly a wild card round. They did that last year.
Yeah.
And they can win a 5-game series. I think it's getting into a 7-game series against a good lineup, and can the Tigers' hitting match the other team's hitting?
Well, you might smoke and mirrors with some of these bullpen reclamation projects, but in a 7-game series, you can't hide them. Like, guys are going to see them a second or third time in a 7-game series, and that's where you may feel how thin the pen really is.
Mine's still the bat. I felt before the deadline, if they didn't add a power bat on the right side, that they couldn't win the World Series, that they couldn't beat the Dodgers or Phillies, Padres possibly in a 7-game series, that their pitching would get exposed throughout a longer series, and then the bats would dry up.
Were you surprised how dismissive Scott Harris was of the idea of adding a right-handed bat? Because he said we maul left-handed pitching. He really didn't give much thought to the fact that they, quote, needed a right-handed bat.
I'm not surprised he said it, because if it's GM talk to a degree, to be honest with you. Look, it's from the rumors and stuff before the deadline, sounds like they were interested. So,
right after the deadline, what do you expect them to say? Yeah, well, boy, we really needed a right-handed bat.
It's kind of like AJ backing his guys, you know. It's
okay,
like,
let me ask it a little differently. Are you surprised he didn't add a right-handed bat?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
This Ibanez thing, it just happens in spurts, you know. I just think in a series, and Vierling's bat has got to get going. They need last year's version of Matt Vierling. You get that, and then maybe you have something.
Well, that's why I say, like, they are threading a needle, right? They need to catch it at the right time, that lightning in a bottle. Like, Vierling's got to be hot in the right series. Green has to be hot in the right series. He's very streaky.
Well, especially if you're going to lead off Vierling and he goes over.
Yeah.
You know what? I do think the slump that they had a couple weeks ago and all that, with Kerry Carpenter out, they missed him probably more than we thought they did. He does have an intimidating presence. He hits that home run that stops the bleeding in a 11 out of 12.
Yeah, but he's a lefty.
I know.
And they don't have that guy on the other side.
I think not many people were saying, oh, they really miss Carpenter. They really miss Carpenter. That's part of the slump. I do think that was probably the number one reason why it got that bad.
I would agree that he was missed.
Because he's a threat in your lineup.
Yes.
He allows AJ to do some different things with how he constructs his lineup.
Texter says, can someone please shut Cookies up? The deadline is over. Same narrative. Guys, we're reflecting on the weekend.
I'm just waiting for Darren McCarty to walk in.
I mean, in some ways, they went up against a top-notch NL team.
Yeah, good measuring stick.
Really good power lineup, and they held serve. Somebody's going to win the series.
And it wasn't the Tigers.
Because of the little flaws that we've just discussed.
That have not been addressed enough. They're going to be in the thick of it. You guys tell us. They got good contributions from Morton and Finnegan. Do you feel better or worse? 248-539-9797. 97.1.